No, I heard the dude. There it is. See,
we're live.
See, Richard, you only did that, Richard. So then I would have to go. Is this? Where? Is it live? How does this work? This is what happens when you get three older men in front of that. What?
Hey, who you calling old?
Where's the red light?
Wow, that didn't take long. There's Amanda. Hi, Amanda.
Oh, God. I'm expecting to see her right here.
In the dark, isn't she?
She just
introduced us, Mike. Go ahead and introduce us.
All right, hi everybody, and welcome to this quarantine episode of Behind the Counter. I am Mike Boroff.
I'm Richard Carradon.
And we have a treat for you today. You won't just have to be looking at our two ugly mugs, as we have a special guest with us, artist, creator. The man who's designed half the stuff that's hanging on my living room wall right now, Rodney Fyke. I'm not kidding you. I feel like picking up the camera and going out there. There's quite a bit of your.
I haven't seen it, so let's take that.
Oh hell! Let's go.
It was real quick.
Wait a minute.
All right.
I got to think about this for a second. I'm a single man. Okay, everything's all right.
And we're walking. Ah, there he is.
There he is in my living room right there, right above the TV. And then let's see. Bright light here in my office, right above the computer. You see a very familiar Aquaman.
It's the Aquaman.
So yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
And of course I had to wrestle this away from the baby.
There you go.
We mentioned this the other day because, you'd have to be in a, what? This is going to piss me off, Richard. She's not. We might as well bring her on the show because every time Amanda comments, it comes up on my screen.
Richard's like, no.
This is what I see every time she comments, Richard. This is what I see of you.
That was awesome, Richard. Nah.
So, she found a way. But, we talked about it the other day. With the quarantine and everything going on. Four times. No, but with the quarantine going on and all the comic book conventions and everything being shut down, I told Richard, me and him have this running joke where, she went directly after me this time. We had this joke where the bigger the show, the less money I feel like I have to spend. I can go to a big show, walk out of there without anything in my bag, but the smaller shows, the shows where people like you and the rest of our friends inhabit, I'm shelling out money left and right, and help support everybody.
Yeah,
I thought for sure with there being no cons before the virtual con, I'm like, I might be able to save money this year. That's not the case. It's stuff like this. I'm worse off this year con season than I was budget wise. And great about this, Rodney, is I love this because a lot of times when we come to the shows, you're there at your table and we get to watch you doing your work. I literally got to watch you sketch this.
Yes.
And as soon as I saw that, I was just like, smack. And stupid PayPal's. I know, and PayPal's not helped me now because they have the one button. I don't even have to enter in passwords or anything anymore on my computer because I use it so much. It's just like one click, and I'm like, I don't even have Richard there anymore to be like, are you sure you need this? That's the way typing in my password used to be, was like Richard going, are you sure? Now it's just like add to cart, and it's just,
Richard, are you the voice of reason?
I guess.
Yes, he really is.
Everybody needs one of those in the groups. We need a voice.
He's like the little Jiminy Cricket on my shoulder. It's like, do you really need to buy that mic? I'm like, I guess I don't.
Is it a want or a need?
Yeah, except when it comes to our friends. And then I'm like, should I get this? And Richard's like, you should definitely get that. You should help the Kickstarter. And I'm like,
we definitely appreciate you guys' support over the last decade or so. It's been tremendous. And with the whole COVID thing, I've told the story 100 times. It seems like the last month, but we've actually ratcheted it up since COVID started. We had very little presence online before COVID. And we had all this new content and stuff that we've been working on over the winter time, and no shows now. So Tina was like, well, got to do something about this. So she knuckled down and jumped into the deep end of the pool and started putting together the website. Got it to a point where she couldn't do anymore and found somebody to help her with it. And now Hasm.com is up and running. It's got a fully functioning store. We've got the blog. We've got all the creators on there. All the books are there. And then we launched a Kickstarter for Roadkill Rampage, and we're doing the Thursday night throwdown with Sean Forney, and I'm on his show on Friday nights, Friday Night Draw. And
I love that.
We're all over the place. We just did a podcast with Pops Van Zandt on CromCon number 5, right before we came onto this show. So we're all over the place now.
And see, that's a great thing. That's one of the things we try to explain to a lot of people who aren't quite as versed. I'm the same way when it came to doing like the live shows and everything, where like right now we're live just because we have the ability to be live. We're able to get all three of us, but that doesn't mean that you can't watch the show tomorrow or a couple days from now. And Richard's good enough that he'll have this converted over to audio to listen to it to a podcast, stuff that I never would have thought of. This whole thing right here all came from Richard. My big bright idea was I was just going to get a plastic shield and ask Richard if he wanted to come over, and we would have stood here like this. That was as far as my extent, or maybe like a blind or something, like a shower curtain. That was about as good as my ideas got, but he was responsible for all this.
Well, yeah, Richard, but Richard, you've always been that quiet little guy in the background that just kind of always is observing and going, well, this is possible here, and we could probably do this here. And so it sounds like you've done the same thing we've done since the shutdown. You just exploded exponentially, and boom.
Yeah. Well, we actually tried this back in 2008. We actually went live with our show in 2008. Mm-hmm. It was crazy back then, but we just couldn't get it to work back then exactly. So I'm kind of happy that we could actually get this to work because, I've been working on our video archive and I've been showing all this stuff. We literally took one of the Space 2011, the award presentation. It was actually live. A lot of people forget that was actually on our website live.
See, that's a great thing. I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm going to brag on Richard for a moment because me and Richard have been doing. When I say me and Richard have been doing this, I've been tagging along with Richard, doing this for as many years as we have been, and I can honestly say that a lot of the stuff we've done that has been Richard's idea, we're seeing people do now, and Richard's he's very cool about it because he just said a second ago, we've been doing that since 2008. I mean, it was just a matter of literally, and I say this I really do mean this. It took forever for the technology to catch up to Richard.
Oh, that worked.
Hey!
I'm sorry.
Hey, Sean, that's awesome. Oh, you're going to see a couple really tickled nerds now because once again, the technology finally caught up with us, but now we're catching up to the technology. It just had popped up. I'm like, Sean's watching! Like total nerd.
Yeah, I saw both of your guys' faces light up. He was just on. We just did the CromCon together. We're both on at the same time.
And another person we do have to give a shout out to. I know she's been waiting for it, is a lot of the stuff that we're seeing online and live now, that came from Amanda. Yeah. Especially the Gym City, everything that's been going on with Gym City online really came from Amanda. And I'm sure she's listening to this, but I will never say to her face, I thank her so much for it, because Rodney, you can attest this. Richard, we've been going to cons for a long time. I have met some of my dearest friends, Rodney, I really do include you in there, through cons, but it's one of those situations where, I mean, thanks to Facebook, we get to see each other and talk to each other more, but we don't get to see each other unless we're at a con. And then when the cons,
and then when we're at the cons, you guys are working, we're working, so we don't really get to mingle much, other than you guys stopping by or me running into one of you guys when I hop up to go use the restroom real quick. And we don't have time to, we don't go to dinner or anything like that. We're too busy. We're working.
Yeah, it really is. It's like a family reunion, where when you go to a family reunion, there's so much going on that you don't get to spend that much time and talk to everybody. But we've been doing this for so long, where we've become such a close-knit family. We don't have to. There's not an unnecessary need to stand around and break the ice and catch up for an hour, because we keep in touch. We know what everybody's doing, but it's just the idea of being able to see everybody. When COVID really started to hit, when the first con started to cancel, and we all really started to realize, oh man, they're all going to be shut down. Gem City wasn't the first, but it was soon enough after the first one, the first one that we would have attended shut down, that we knew where the cycle was going. And it was just like, I'm not going to get to see this person. I'm not going to get to see this person. Yeah. But then next thing I know, we see Amanda posting, under Gem City, Gem City Live. And we got to see you and Sean and all of them doing live sketches and talks. She really did, especially to the Ohio area, a great service, bringing us all together like that.
Yeah. And it was funny because she did that in like 18 hours.
Oh yeah. 16 if you ask her.
Yeah, she was on the phone with Tina talking about the possibilities of it. And I'm sitting there, doing what I'm doing, and those two are on the phone going back and forth and talking about this, and let's use that. What can we do here, and how much is this, and boom, 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 boom. And the next thing you know, boom. I mean, I didn't know what StreamYard was, and then, StreamYard's been a godsend,
Oh, yeah.
And then there we were, 2 days, the next day or 2 days later, we were doing, Amon and I were on talking about Roadkill Rampage, and Gem City took place online. So, yeah, that was amazing.
And see, Richard's the one that got me on the StreamYard, and it was really lucky and fortuitous, because Richard sent me the link to StreamYard, and me and him, he knows this. My desktop computer is a lump of crap. I got to shovel coal in the back of it to get it to go. I bought the little webcam. I was so ready and gung ho for it. I got everything. As soon as we tried it, my computer just went, no. If you want to use your mouse and the webcam at the same time, I'm stopping everything. So we didn't think we were going to get to do it. But because Richard has sent me the link on Messenger, when it popped up on my phone, I brought it up by accident. And I'm like, this works. This is on my phone. And I'm like, this works perfectly. And I called Richard up. I go, get your stuff together. That was like our first podcast, Richard. We planned it. Yeah. And it was like a half an hour. And we were like, I set it up like this. And
well, I like it how you guys go ahead and then show the second camera and actually show you guys drawing and stuff. I really think that's this really shows, because like Mike, it influenced Mike to buy your one piece of work. So I've seen the artist be able to draw and actually show off the work and stuff. It actually would influence someone maybe to buy it better,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and it's expanded our audience so much. I mean, when it first started going, it was new. We were doing really well because everybody was jumping on, and it was a new thing. Then it kind of leveled out over the course of the next 6 weeks or so. But yeah, now we're doing all these cons and stuff, these online cons and stuff, and it's and the Thursday night throwdown on the Friday night Raw. Draw. Yeah, I keep saying Raw.
I thought you were saying withdraw, and I'm like, I can. You're talking in my wheelhouse, man. I know about withdraw.
But yeah, it's really expanded our exposure. I know my followers on Instagram it's probably jumped 200 people. And the same thing with Facebook. We just have a bigger reach, which is huge for us. So yeah, it's been a curse and a blessing all at the same time.
Yeah, me and Richard know about the curse and the blessing, especially Richard, with us having the moniker Underground Video Network. We've been invited to a couple groups that weren't comic. I don't want to say comic related because I don't have to use their trademark, but they weren't comic related. So
right,
yeah,
I get what you're saying.
But no, it really is. It's one of those things where the technology's always been there, but a lot of people didn't have the need for it. It wasn't a necessity. It's like you're able to go to cons, so why do I bother? With this webcam stuff when the people I want to sell my stuff to will be at the show next week. And then since everything shut down, everybody's slowly between this and like the Zoom meetings. And then people are like, well, why should the business people be the only ones being able to do this stuff? Why don't we use it for our own good? Right. And then, next thing you know, here we are,
I'm getting used to this. I like this. Sorry.
I feel like I'm in the. Wait a minute. We're all old enough. We'll remember this. I feel like I'm in a remember VH1's pop-up videos?
Pop-up videos,
yeah.
I feel like I'm in pop-up videos. Like any minute now, it's going to pop up.
Yeah, we need
the
little bubble sound effect.
Yes. Little known fact: when Mike first appeared on the shore, he had a full head of hair. Oh man! But no, it was great.
Oh, I was just going to say we should start talking about his Kickstarter.
Yes, that's the other big thing is because we love, like you said, you guys were a presence on Facebook and Instagram, but not to the degree you are now, because I remember watching you do the work in progress photos of the Captain America that's hanging in my living room. Yeah. But now, those were work in progress photos, which were great. But again, along with, to see you actually sketching the Baby Yoda, I can go back. I have it bookmarked somewhere where I can go back and watch the episode of you and, Sean going back and forth sketching this now anytime I want. Like if I show a friend of mine, hey, my friend, sketched this. Here's the video of him doing it,
For sure.
And so and that's one of the great things about doing stuff like this. And like Richard mentioned, one of the other great things about doing stuff online is, like Richard mentioned, the Kickstarters.
Yes.
And Kickstarter was great because it seemed like when Kickstarter first started, a lot of the stuff we saw Kickstarter was for like live action. Like, hey, I want to do a movie. I want to do a video,
Right.
But it's not just that. There's people that want to do novels or comic books or animated features. Kickstarter has really broadened its horizons when it comes to what is available to be kickstarted.
Yeah, I think people realize the potential of it. If you utilize it correctly, and it is benefited as well from everybody being stuck at home. Because it's we're using it for the first time, and it's been a nice surprise to see the backing that we've gotten on. We funded in 44 hours.
Wow.
Which was staggering to us. We had no idea it was going to be that quick. We're very grateful for that.
Wow.
Let's see. On the comments real quick, we got a few people in there. Sean's in there. Amanda, we got Justo was over there with us at the CromCon. Who else? Tina says hi, Adam Field. So I guess he's lurking around somewhere. Yeah, there we go. It's the taste of a new generation, Sean says.
What's this one? Mead hot singles in your air. Oh, right. Sorry.
Oh no, wrong one.
Scroll down. Scroll down.
Keep scrolling.
I forgot to turn the filter blocker on.
I got your Kickstarter ready to bring up, Rodney. If you want me to bring it up, and you can talk about it.
Yes, please tell us about.
I tell you what, Richard. Why don't we play the video so everybody can watch the video?
Oh,
and then
awesome!
We'll talk about it.
Hey everybody, I'm Rodney Fyke with Hasn't Production, and I'm the creator and writer of Roadkill Rampage. Hasn't has been publishing comics since 2009, and up until now, our focus has been on our all-ages comics, Peanut Pudding and Jelly, and Pitter Pat. I personally have been around the independent comic scene for the better part of 30 years, and during that time, I've done it all, from writing, to penciling and inking, to coloring and lettering, on a wide assortment of comics, from superheroes all the way through adult drama and suspense. Well, let's see, but as a creator, I have always wanted to do a horror comic, because I'm a huge fan of the old Marvel Tomb of Dracula and DC's awesome titles like Shock, Details, and Crypt. Boy, the stories were always told using shadows and dramatic writing to draw readers down dark stairwells and alleyways. Always sent chills down my spine. Roadkill Rampage is a story of our young couple, Tess and Ace, as they take a drive into the country. While on the road, Ace decides to play a game of chicken with the local wildlife. Tess is furious with this and tries to stop Ace. When things take a turn for the worse, the animals come back to exact their own brand of revenge. Eamon Hill is the artist on the book and has done a phenomenal job bringing the story of Ace and Tess to life. His gritty art style lends itself perfectly to the story. As you can see, he works digitally to create his pencils, and then he prints them out and does ink washes to create this dynamic style that you see throughout the book. For this Kickstarter, we have a wide selection of rewards for you to choose from, so please check them all out. We've also lined up a great selection of stretch goals as well. We'd like to sincerely thank you all for watching our video, and we hope you'll back Roadkill Rampage. You'll have as much fun reading it as I did writing it.
That is fantastic.
Thank you.
I do got to say, though, the inner nerd in me was, we're watching the video and there's three of us right here. My first thought went to Mystery Science Theater 3000, and I was just like, I can't, must not heckle.
Well, I'm glad I'm not
Hey, you
the only
see,
one
Joel?
thinking that.
Hey, you see, Joel, the possum, you know. Which is something, Richard, side note, we might have to consider in the future. Let's put a back burner on that. But that looked amazing.
Thank you. That was all Tina.
Well, Tina, that was bravo. And, you know, you might be hearing from our PR department, which is Richard.
Yeah,
but really,
so
that is a fascinating concept right there. I love to hear the ideas. That is a very unique concept right there, Rodney. Where the hell in your mind did the idea for that pop up?
Okay. Well, as some of you might know, I have a part-time day job where I pick up and deliver vehicles for a fleet company. So I'm in Cincinnati, so we go to the surrounding states: Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Michigan, West Virginia. So all over the region. So one Friday afternoon, it was in the summer, was probably 120 degrees outside, and if anybody has spent any time trying to drive through Columbus, Ohio, you know that it's construction as far as the eye can see. So I was stuck in some construction traffic and doing about 5 miles an hour. And over on the left-hand shoulder, what I could see was this little baby raccoon. And it was laying there kind of on its side in a fetal position with its back to the road. And his fur was just gently blowing in the wind, and his little palm was extended out, and you could see his little fingers. And as I got up to him and got around to him, I knew he was dead. And he just had the most serene look on his face. He was just so cute and precious, but he was laying there dead. And I thought to myself, where was he going? What was he? Where was he going? What was he doing? Who's waiting on him? Who's going to miss him? And then my mind started racing as to where is his spirit? How is he handling being just a baby? He's just starting out in life. And young death always bothers me. So that my mind just was going crazy. So I grabbed my cell phone and I started talking into my cell phone. And that's where 25 minutes later, I had the outline for the issue. And it was supposed to be a one shot. But as it came together, because we had talked with another artist about doing it, and they agreed to do the project with me, and it got put on a shelf for other reasons, and so it was there percolating. And then a couple years went by, and we started doing that Cincinnati Comic Creators group, where the second Tuesday of every month, local comic creators get together at a bar. They have a back room for us, and we go there and we hang out. And people can bring work, or they can just come hang out and just chill. We vibe off of each other. So at that meeting, I met Eamon Hill, the artist, and we just, over the course of about a year, we got to know each other, and we got to realize that we kind of had the same sense and sensibilities about things and our taste and influence and stuff. So one night, Tina was like, "Well, what do you think about you talking to Eamon about doing Roadkill Rampage?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's find out." So I asked him, and he asked me what it was about, and I told him what it was about. And he had a couple of concerns about some of the content in it, and I said, "Well, my approach to that is very Alfred Hitchcockian, whereas less is more. So we don't necessarily have to show; we just have to infer." Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Okay, cool. That's very much how I see it and how I would like to go about it." He's a Hitchcock fan too, so the partnership was formed right there, and he became the artist. And man, he's just really done an amazing job with the artwork. But yeah, that's how the story came about. That's how the team came about. Got to mention David Lentz is the letterer. He's from Philadelphia. We found him. Oh, he's in Pennsylvania. Well, it's at Pennsylvania. He's not there, Philadelphia. He's not, okay. Well, he's in Pennsylvania, somewhere in Pennsylvania. It's a big state. But he's our graphic designer and our letterer, and he's done a phenomenal job with that. And Casey Pierce from Source Point is an editor on it. And we brought her on board, and she went over the script and gave me some suggestions and stuff. And I took it and I rewrote it. And it really took probably 3 or 4 steps up the ladder of quality. Because I've never worked with an editor before. I've always self-edited. And it's made a huge difference. So I'm really excited for everybody people that have read it so far are like, wow, this is, we don't expect this from you. We expect peanut pudding and jelly or pitter patter.
That's why I'm really excited to read it, because I'm really looking forward to it, because it's I find, especially when it comes to horror and things of a suspenseful nature, it's usually the people you least expect it from. And because a perfect example is, we talk about on our show, our friend Allison Dickinson. I've known Allison for a long time. I love her art, and I know the con Allison, where she's got the little plushies and the cute. She reminds me of like a school teacher. But then when she released her first book, Strings, I'm reading it and I'm like, oh, I get chills even thinking about it, Yeah. And then, my first thought the next time I talked to her was I put my hand on her shoulder and I'm like, are you all right? Are you okay? And then when Richard was telling me that, when he was telling me a little bit about, Roadkill Rampage, I'm like, oh, here we go again, man. It's going to be, you're expecting, like, exactly what you said. People are expecting peanut pudding and jelly, but, I'd read a quote. I want to say I came up with it, but I'm not clever enough to. But it's like the brightest lights cast the darkest shadows. Yeah. So when you think of somebody like you and Allison, with peanut pudding and jelly, and her work, which is just bright and cheerful, those shadows are damn dark, man. And I want to know how dark your shadow is. I got one question for you, because it's always curious to me when you do collaboration work, especially now with COVID, doing stuff like this. So many of the people that we know that do collaboration work, they do, comic books, your typical kind of superhero. Whereas I imagine, I'm not diminishing anything for superheroes, but work like horror and suspense are a lot more layered than comic books. What's it been kind of like having, these intricate ideas of horror and drama in your head and conveying them well enough to him to put them to ink and paper?
Well, what I do is, and I've always done this, even back during the Superior 7 days, is I thumbnail out every story that I write. Mm-hmm. Because it's so, in my mind, it's so vivid. It's I see it as a movie. And so I thumbnailed out issue 1 of Roadkill Rampage, and I'm all about getting together. We've worked with people online, but I really prefer working with people together. Yeah. And we met several times. Actually, we used to meet probably every 2 weeks. We would meet at Panera Bread, and we'd sit there and have lunch, and we'd go over the thumbnails. And I told him, I said, okay, Eamon, the thumbnails are a guide, not a roadmap. But having said that, there are a few exceptions where there's no compromise. I want this to look this way for a reason. Right. And Eamon it's so funny because we both kind of share the same visions in our head, and at times he'll surprise me. He'll change a couple of things up. Like he did we've got some postcards as a one of rewards on tier rewards, and him and I talked about an idea, and then 3 or 4 days later I get this picture of a boot, an old leather boot, and I'm like, what the hell is this? This is not what we discussed. So I called him up, and he talked about it, and he's like, yeah. He said, well, I was doing that. He says, it just kind of seemed a little mundane. He said, so I did this. He says, and I'm going to have a raccoon's paw coming out of it. And I was like, instantly, there it is. This is eerie and wicked and cool. And then I saw the boot in a completely different light. And I've got a version of it where it's just the boot and all the layers are turned off. And it looks like the Crow. It looks like from the Crow. Mm-hmm. Looks like the Eric's boot from the Crow. So he was like, yeah, right. So it's so funny because he's 12, 13 years younger than me, but we both have the same tastes in comics and artists and stuff. Mm. So yeah, it works really well. And we just met. Issue 2 is completely scripted. Roadkill Rampage is completely done. So if anybody's questioning on whether or not to back it, issue 1 is done. It's as soon as the Kickstarter is done, it's going to the printer. And the script on issue 2 is completely done. He and I just met on Monday. We went to Starbucks and met, and we went over the thumbnails for issue 2. He loved it. He had a character design, and then he just sent us a character sketch the other day, and I called him today, and we went back and forth with, okay, I don't like this, let's change it to that. So we work together closely on things. So yeah, it's and he's very open to ideas, and I'm open to ideas. Nothing's chiseled in stone, because he might have a better idea of how to do something, which is why I tell him it's a roadmap. It's not it's a guide. It's not a roadmap. So you don't have to stick 100% to it, just in a couple places. It gives him the freedom. He's an artist. He's a creative too. So I want to bring that creativity to the project as well. And it's worked.
And I can imagine for you, it's great to see somebody like you said, you give them a seed of an idea, and then it might have bloomed in a different way than you had originally planned. You might have thought it was a white rose, but he surprises you with, the purple rose. And you're like, it's still the same flower I wanted, but you added something new to it. Were there any other moments that you can think of, without spoiling anything, where you had one thing in mind and that he might have put a little bit of a twist on it, when you're like, oh, that's even better than what I anticipated?
Well, actually, yeah. When I gave him the character designs for the characters, the female character, her name is Tess, and I had her as a brunette. And when he submitted the drawings and stuff over, she was blonde. And I thought to myself, is this a hill I'm willing to die on? How important is it that she's blonde? And the more I thought about it, and the more I started seeing the work, symbolically, it's perfect, because Ace, the male character, embodies evil, and he's all black.
Darkness.
Darkness, and she is the light, so she's blonde. And I was like,
nice.
I don't know if it was a subconscious choice on his level or if it was intentional, but it works. It's perfect. Call it a happy accident or whatever you want to call it, but it works. So yeah, that was cool. And then there was a particular page that was it had a bunch of panels on it that I couldn't figure out the pacing and all that. And he took 2 pages of a bunch of little panels and he meshed them into one page. And I was just like, oh man, that this is why it's working, because you saw it where I didn't see it. So yeah, those are bonuses. And to going back to him bringing the stuff alive, back in the day when I was having other people draw my superhero stuff, there were moments when I couldn't get the artist to draw what I wrote, and it was so infuriating for me, because you're really kind of at the mercy of the artist there, and to get pages that are what you see in your mind, it's like seeing, it's like the doctor handing you your newborn child, because it's really what it is. I mean, I don't have any children, so these stories are my babies. These characters are my babies. And when they hand you the artwork and it's what's in your mind in a tangible form, it's like, that is so rewarding. It's like a little kid coming up and going, "You're my hero because I love what you draw." You can't put a price on that. It's the same thing.
Well, I can relate, Rodney, when you and me worked on that little project of mine. When I saw the robot, I go, because we had discussed several times on that, and you wanted to switch it up a little bit more than what I was trying to do. So I just let you run with it, and I just totally loved it when I first saw it for the first time, And
I can only imagine. Oh, I was going to say, I can only imagine it's difficult when you don't want to be that guy. I'm like, no, no, this is what I want. I can imagine, that's like worst case scenario. That's like the last thing you want to do. So I can imagine when you find somebody that you mesh with, that doesn't come up.
And now that I'm older, I was in my 20s back then when I was going through that struggle. So I was less patient and I was more hard-headed. But 30 years later, I'm a lot more mellow, and I realize that as a team, you get more accomplished. And just like Richard said with the robot, there was nothing wrong with what Richard provided, but my stuff was merely a suggestion, and Richard saw it and he liked it. So I would have completely done it, the way he wanted, but he saw it and he liked it. So it worked, it's the collaboration, Yeah. And that's so important. I being an editor, your job is to put together the best team possible. Mixing the right. I mean, I'm an artist myself, but I knew that Amon could draw this story so much better than I ever could, and that was the best decision that we've made for this series, because he just nails it, and I couldn't do that because it's not my type of artwork. So yeah, we're very, very happy in that instance there.
And I think that translates well over to not just comic books and artistry and writing. Honestly, Richard, I think that's part of the reason why me and you have been, we've gotten along for as well as we have and done as many episodes as we've had over the years. I came, to doing the show later. You started with Peanut and Dave, and I came much later. But, as the years went on, we became closer and closer friends. You more than I did. You knew what I was going to end up doing. It's like you're like, I know Mike's going to go do this, so I'm just going to set the camera here and let him. I'm going to anticipate it. I know what after watching everything that you've done over the years. I know what's in your wheelhouse. Like a perfect example was the Colossal Con. Richard, remember the overhead video?
Oh yeah,
from Colossal. At first you didn't understand what I wanted to do. We did a video where Richard was up here at the top of a balcony, and I was down on the floor in the middle of the crowd. And the way we shot it was Richard, because we had the wireless mic. Richard was right close to me. He was close up to me, so you couldn't tell. But then when you panned away, you saw that I was so far away from Richard in the middle of this crowd. And it was one of those first times, I think, Richard, where I gave you an idea and you were like, I don't know if I see it right away, but you went with it and it turned out great. Right. So I can and that's why me and him have, been able to do this for as long as we have been. It's finding the right person to collaborate with. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so important.
And if for someone else, especially during this time with, COVID and everything, who might be in the same position you are, they're a writer or creator who is looking to do a collaboration with an artist that might be a little bit out of their wheelhouse, what kind of advice could you give to them when it comes to finding someone to collaborate with? Because I'm sure you don't want to just, it's like, I'll collaborate with you and just jump right into that person when it, it might be a doomed relationship to, to start with.
My advice would be to take your time in making the decision. Because if, like initially we had an artist picked out for the book, and friend of ours, great guy, but his artwork was wrong for it. And I knew that, but I was going to try to make the best out of it. And I think he kind of knew it too. That's why he didn't really, he just kind of politely bowed out and conceded, that Amon got the job. But my advice would be to not take your time. There's no rush. And 2, don't compromise your vision. Because when you find that right person and there's that sync, that is so worth the price of gold. Because every time I see Richard, I think of you. Every time I see you, I think of Richard. You guys are a team. And you guys are underground, video. And I know that. You guys make a great team. So if you're putting together a team, make it the best possible team you can make it, and take the time. And you don't necessarily have to have a conversation. You can just be sitting there listening to somebody else's conversation, and you can decide if that person is going to be a good fit for you. You listen a lot. You learn a lot by listening sometimes than even opening your mouth. And that's kind of how it happened with Amon and I. He started coming to the group, and I saw his work, and I was like, okay, and just kind of filed it away in the back of my head, and as time went on, we got to know each other better. I realized that the personalities meshed. And I guess an analogy is when I was doing the Superior 7, it was my best friends from high school. So Chris Henry in particular, he's my brother. He's not my best friend. We were so tight for so long that we would finish each other's sentences. Okay, we each knew what each other was thinking. If we got into a situation at a bar or a movie theater or convention, we each knew how the other person was going to react. We were a team. And that was so important for going forward and doing what we did. And then when that went away and I lost that, I was trying to find it again. And it took me, years to find that. And, I've got that with Tina because she's really the backbone of Hasm Productions. And we're all day long, every day, all day. We're ideas and bouncing stuff off of each other and coming up with thoughts and scenarios and this and that and the other. So I've got it with Tina, but she doesn't draw. She does draw. She says, "No, draw it this way," and she'll get out a piece of paper and she'll like, "Okay," and I'm like, okay, and I'll do it that way. And I was like, "Yeah, it's much better." So yeah, we've got the good team there, but yeah, finding a good team it's the best thing that you can do to set yourself up for a successful endeavor. You're only as and to throw out another cliche, hashtag Tina rules. You're only as strong as your weakest link. So, when putting together that team, make sure you've got some solid pieces.
Yeah.
And while I'm tipping the cap to people, I want to go ahead and tip the cap to Amanda, and also to Sean and Stephanie Forney. They have been a godsend as far as helping us with the Kickstarter. This is our first Kickstarter, and they've done several Kickstarters. So I think Tina and Stephanie are attached by some type of an umbilical cord between Cincinnati and Columbus. They've been going back and forth, and that's really. We've been in Kickstarter school for the past 6 weeks, and Tina went straight from doing the website to doing the Kickstarter. So and Sean and Stephanie have been a godsend. Amanda's been a godsend with her support. And it's just, your friends and your con family, and we've all been leaning on each other, and it's amazing. It's really cool to, you've got that community of friends, but, and it's really showed. So it's been really, really cool to see.
Yeah, it's one thing to say you have, like you said, you have a con family, and it's like when you know you're not going to see each other for a year, but you're going to see each other in that year, you keep in touch. But when the possibility that you're not going to see that person, it might be another couple years now because of everything, having somebody like Amanda and, like you said, Tina doing the website. And then seeing, like you said, like Sean and everybody coming together, I really believe, we've gone to a lot of cons that, Northwest Ohio and our area right here has got one of the greatest family of creators. Everybody, it seems, it's like I've learned this over the years. Every time Richard introduces me to somebody new, it's really like 10 degrees of separation. Well, we know these people from these people, and we know these people from these people. And any one of those people, once you're within that circle, you're in that circle. You know, it's like when you popped up, I have a Kickstarter. I'm sure you had people, you know, more than just Amanda and Sean. You know, it's like, hey, if you need anything, let us know. This is the way we did it. This is what you did. You know, I'm sure the idea is that everybody came together.
Yeah, and it's been really, really humbling, and it's been a great experience. You know, for us to fund in 44 hours.
Oh,
really,
that's I
mean, that really blew us away. You know, and just incredibly grateful for that. You know, every time I go on a podcast, I thank everybody. You know, because without the fans, you know, we're nothing. None of us are. So to know that everybody was out there and paying attention and jumped on the bandwagon and funded in 44 hours was just incredible. So, so while we're in that vein, I'm going to go ahead and throw out some numbers. We are currently at our goal was $1,000. We are currently at $1,736, and we have unlocked
awesome
bookmark reward. So there's the bookmark of the 69 Dodge Charger, which is Ace's car, and we have also unlocked the coasters. And our next goal that we're shooting for is 2,000. And if we get to when we get to the 2,000 point, that will unlock the Roadkill Rampage bumper sticker.
Oh God! Yep. Okay.
You got to have that. And then the coolest part is at 2,500. We're unlocking some pinups from Sean Forney, Adam Fields, and Luke Stone, and we've seen a thumbnail or a sketch of what Sean's got going on, and he's got that 69 Charger prominently displayed in it, so it's going to be pretty sweet. So less than $1,000 will open up that tier, and we have a backer incentive going on right now. Once we get to 75 backers. Everyone gets a digital PDF of Sean and Stephanie's Scarlet Huntress Tales Through Time. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. We were as of the last podcast, we were at 60 backers. So we need to get 15 more backers to unlock that reward or that little bonus there. So
that's a good.
And see that right there. Well, and that right there just attests to how awesome that you guys are, because you're unlocking something from somebody else. You know, it's not your own work that you're making available. You know, it's Sean. You know, not a lot of that's something not a lot of people would do. It would be, I hate to put it like me. Here's my stuff. That's what we were talking about earlier. How great of a group of friends we are. Where you're saying that if we get this many backers, we're going to give you Sean's stuff. You know, Sean's making it available. You know, it's like, here's our stuff. You know.
Yeah, and actually, Sean offered it.
I'm going to do it every single.
You know, God bless you. You know, thank you so much. And
Adam Fields is lined up too. Once we meet Sean, we're going to set another one.
Yeah, and
we're going to give away some prow.
Yeah, and once we reach that 75 thing and giving away Sean's stuff, we're going to set up another one with Adam Fields and Prowl.
Oh,
so that's coming as well.
Now, for anybody who hasn't clicked on the link yet, real quick, can you tell us a little bit about the tiers for your Kickstarter? What's I'm ignorant when it comes to Kickstarter. Tell me about these tiers.
Well, they're level tiers. Like I said, if once we get to $2,000, $2,000, that unlocks the bumper sticker tier. So everybody will get, along with everything else, they will get the bumper sticker as well. So a lot of people don't realize that you're not just getting the book. You're getting the bookmark. You're getting the coaster. You're getting the bumper stickers at $2,000. At $2,500, you're getting pinups from Sean Forney and Luke Stone and Adam Fields. At 75 backers, you know, you're getting another book, another PDF, digital PDF, you know, just for backing one book, you know. So it's Christmas in August, you know. You can't beat it, you know.
Now, for anybody that's looking
at a comic book store,
you know, you're not. For anybody looking to join to support your Kickstarter, are there different tiers of donation is what I mean. You know, it's like for $5, is it this, and $10? I'm assuming, because I know from seeing some Kickstarters where it's just like I'm thinking this and like Patreon, you know, I get those two confused where it's just like for $5 we'll put you at the first tier, for $25, $50. Is it something like that?
No, you come in. No.
Okay, here comes producer B.
Here comes producer B.
Hi.
Hi. So yeah, if you can just donate, and then if you donate $5 or pledge $5, you get a digital PDF of the book. At $10, you can get a physical copy of the book. It goes up from there. For $25, we have the Roadkill Rampage Grindhouse poster of the cover that Dave Lentz did some really cool stuff with.
And that is so awesome.
Yeah.
See, there's a specific reason why I'm asking this question.
For $75.
Just real quick, for those at home that are under a certain age, this is called a checkbook. Before PayPal, we used to have to write donations. I had to blow the dust off that damn thing just for that joke.
So at $75, we have a tier for that. You can get a commission for Rodney, or Amon has some commission. We have one of each of those left. There's original art up. You can get actual original art pages from the book for $100 each. There's 4 different pages to choose from. We're going to actually put up, where is it? This is cool. Hold on.
Hold on.
Hey, I got lucky. I got the early bird special.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So we made this up when we were showing people this book. And it's just, where am I?
Here.
Move your head, Rodney.
I do the same. I do the same thing because I'm like, you know, I got Richard over here. No, wait, he's over. No, Richard. Wait, he's over here.
Okay, so this was a book that we put together that has the artwork in it, but it didn't have any lettering or anything on it. But we were showing everybody Amon's images because they were just so spectacular. So we have this book that's put together, and we're going to give away a copy of the script with it. And there's only 2 of those books in existence. So we're going to put one of them up on the Kickstarter. I'm kind of trying to get it loaded tomorrow. So, you know, somebody who likes those collector items will have that up. If we get to the $25 or $2,500 stretch goal, we're working on an enamel pin. So we got other stuff. If we can keep it going, we've still got 20 days. So we're working on some other stuff. Yeah, there's lots of levels. So, you know, if you don't have a lot of money, you can get, you know, something reasonable. And if you got some more money to spend, we got more stuff. So, but yeah, there's all kinds of stuff on.
And come on, people, it's quarantine. What else are you going to spend your money on? It's not like you can go out.
Yeah. Oh, here. This is really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Rodney's doing. Here, you hold. You can do it. That's Rodney's version of Ace.
Yes.
And we're going to.
Oh, nice.
We're going to put that in the book in replacement for just the Kickstarter for one of the ads that we had in the book originally. So. And I think if he's supposed to be getting that done for me, I think I'm going to load that up as somebody can get that if they want that. But that's Rodney's take on his character.
Right.
That's awesome. That right there just reminded me another thing for people of a certain age. It reminded me of the infomercials. But wait, there's more. Could you believe that you're also going to get, don't tell anybody, but we're going to throw in these ShamWow towels. If you throw in ShamWow towels, I will shit.
A year's supply of turtle wax.
Oh, well, that is. Oh, that is fantastic.
So there's a lot of goodies out there for you all to jump in and get your hands on hold of.
Oh, Rich, once again, you know, I've monopolized so much time, and Richard, you're the more creative of the two of us. Is there anything that you wanted to add to this?
I jumped on right away when I saw it. I go, I got to get this. This looks so cool because you had enough preview on your Kickstarter that it actually interests me enough, and I liked how you designed the Kickstarter because it just had enough material to catch your eye.
Right.
And,
don't give away too much.
Right, and I was really the marketing behind it, the way you guys put it together. You said Tina did some of that and stuff, so it looked really cool.
Yeah.
And of course I knew you guys, so that helped a lot. But.
Right.
See, that's
quick story, real quick. When I was meeting with Eamon the other day, he told me that his wife Lish had sat down. We sent them the final PDF to look at, and they were sitting there, and she was reading the book, and he was at his desk drawing, and she read the book, and he said she got real quiet, and she took the book and she sat it down, and she looked at me and she says, "Honey, have you read this?" And he's like, "Oh, I worked on it and everything. I kind of know." He's like, "No, have you read the final version?" He's like, "No." He said, "You need to stop what you're." So he said that she closed it, she laid it on the table, and she said, "Oh my God, honey, have you read this?" And she said, "You need to stop what you're doing and come over here and read this now. This is amazing."
Oh,
and I was like,
awesome.
"Really?" So it was like, I'm gonna pat myself on the back.
Oh, that's awesome.
So. Yeah, it's really rewarding to have other people enjoy and really dig what you do. And it's there's such passion behind what I do. So for other people to appreciate it, it's that is the biggest reward of all. So.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, you got to see live how much I appreciate your work. Your shit's hanging up in my living room, for God's sakes, Rodney. And you can look and see the dust around it. That wasn't just a stage promo for you, bud. That was I'm not that clever. And I was gonna say earlier, another thing that makes a good collaboration is guilt, because I do. No, I am fully. That's why I was asking you earlier about it. It's just what is today? Friday. It's payday. It's time to help back some more people. I do. I'm not kidding you, man. But this is what we have been really trying to stress the last few episodes that me and Richard have done. And I try to insist on people. It's not like me bragging, like, "Ooh, look what I bought." I'm trying to instill on people, just because the cons are closed does not mean you can't still help these people. So like every time, I do something. I just our friend Molly Durst. Like the other day, I wore the T-shirt that I got from her. I just got some sketch cards from her. Allison, it was one of those things where she's a member of our con family, where it's just like, I'm going to buy your book. I want to buy it from you.
Yeah. But
with everything that happened, it wasn't going to happen. Hey, by the way, here's how you can get it online. And the same thing with you. It's like, man, I usually, like, once a year I'll get like a sketch card or something from Rodney. It's you're one of those people, my walls are adorned with your stuff, and the next thing I know is I see you, you hit my kryptonite. You son of a bitch. It had to be Baby Yoda, didn't it? Oh no, couldn't have been. Oh no, the big message that we've been trying to get out there is the cons are closed, but the creators aren't. The creators are out there still working and churning everything.
I think a good tagline would be, the lights might be out, but the stores are still open. So that's a good way to look at it, because we're all still open. We're open. Sean and Stephanie's open. Adam Fields is open. Todd Beistel's open. Everybody's open. So, go support your local regional comic book artist, because we're all doing stuff. Yeah.
Well, Rich, if you don't mind, I know we're hitting that hour mark. Right. Speaking of going out and helping your local creators and everything, Rodney, would you please? Every time I say this, I'm showing my age again. I'm reminded of the old Saturday Night Live sketch with I can't remember his name now. You've got a book, plug away, plug away. Rodney, please tell anybody that's watching the show right now where they can find you at, the Hasm, the website, everything where they can come and help support you guys.
Okay. All right, darlings, listen.
That's what I'm talking about.
You can find me at hasm.com. HAZZUM.com. All of the books are up there. Obviously, Roadkill Rampage will be available once the Kickstarter matures. So you can go there. The store's open. You can find me on the Art of Rodney Fyke on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, Rodney_Fyke. You can find me on Twitch, Rodney Fyke Art on Twitch. Thursday Night Throwdown with Sean Forney on Hasm Productions on Facebook and on YouTube as well. Hasm now has a YouTube channel.
And Rodney Fyke Art on Twitch.
And Rodney, I already said that. Rodney Fyke Art on Twitch. And then we have the Friday Night Draw with Sean Forney on Sean Forney Illustrations as well.
Sean Forney Art on Twitch.
Sean Forney Art on Twitch as well.
And
YouTube.
And you mentioned it earlier, and I do really need to give a shout out to it. You mentioned your other book right now, or your other book too, the Peanut Pudding and Jelly. I got to give a shout out to that because that's still one of my favorite books. It's literally like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich where it's just like the comic book version of comfort food. Yes. You know, when I read that book, I see me and my friends when we were kids with the towels around our neck. All that, you know, not just a Kickstarter, but all of your work can be found on those websites.
Yes, that's where we are. And you know, Peanut Pudding and Jelly is autobiographical because those are stories from when we were kids. So yeah, I think that's why it's so relatable to people our age because it's what we did when we were kids.
Oh yeah. Rich, you?
What? Oh, that we're closing out?
No. I'm sorry.
Where did we find you, Rich?
The problem is
I had the wrong button up. Sorry, someone was
I've got to do that. There's a reason why podcast is called We Talk Too Much, where it should be Mike Talks Too Much, because I have a habit of when I get started, you know, because I'm used to being in front of camera that every so often, you know, it's like if Richard's camera was to freeze, I would probably be talking for like an hour before I realized it's like Richard hasn't blinked in an hour. Rich, tap, 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 tap. You still there, buddy?
Yeah, you can find all our stuff at undergroundvideonetwork.com. You can find all our socials, and I want to emphasize that the new archive is totally done. We now have over 800 videos from our career for the last 18 years, from 2002 to present. So all the original local access from Lima are available with Peanut and David and all our guest appearances with them. And then you can catch all Mike and my shows from what did we say, 167, I think, somewhere around that. That's where it was us when we started from the Alter Ego. So everything, as far as I know, is out there, and even the original Google videos are now available. Nice. So I just added those.
Did you throw in the dial-up tone at the beginning of each one of those episodes too, just for pure nostalgia? It's like click play. So yeah, Rodney, thank you for being on the show with us. You're going to be. Oh, you're more than welcome. You're going to be seeing my name on your Kickstarter here really soon. The best to you and Tina. From both of us, we hope you guys are staying safe and healthy, and we love you guys.
We don't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
We're in the basement.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just saying, I got an idea. If there's anything that you want to add to the Kickstarter, you know, these masks are becoming very popular these days, and the kids seem to really dig them. You know, so if you want to see if anybody wants to see a Roadkill Rampage, you know, I'm sure, you know, that would if you do it, let me get one from you. I want a peanut pudding and jelly mask. So
you can go to our TeePublic store and buy them.
Yes, you can go to our TeePublic store on the Hasm.com and buy them.
Well, just do a search for TeePublic.
Yeah, go to TeePublic.
And search Hasm.
And search Hasm.
You just saw my lap. You just saw the computer light up.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes,
So yes, thank you, So thank you, Rodney. Thank you, Tina, and thank you, Rich, for putting this all together. We hope everybody is staying safe and healthy, and God willing, we'll see everybody at a convention in 2021.
Absolutely, sounds great. Thanks, guys, for having us. And you want us to come back on another date, just to hang out and talk about other stuff? You know, be more than willing.
We were talking about shows earlier. That's me and Richard's wheelhouse right there. So yeah, we'll get you in on it. So
cool beans. I'm down.
All right.
Thanks,
All
Rodney.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.